what I really love about it is they really give the respect to the food. They really give. I don't like that. You see that behind me?
Yeah.
What was going on there?
That was about 15 vultures.
That looked like a Land Before Time scene
up.
or something.
Watch your dog, man. I don't.
No, they're not that kind of vulture. They don't come in and do that. But that means, and I mean, they're flocking. So, and we have a lot of goats. So
looking for your leftovers. I'd be vulturing too.
Welcome to the Mound Visit Podcast. I'm Casey Honigbaum, joined, as always, by the 15-year Major League Baseball veteran, former All-Star, Jason Grilli. Today we have an unbelievable episode for you. The Mayor of Flavortown himself, that's Guy Fieri. He's joining the show to talk about all sorts of things. We had an incredible conversation. We want to get you to that as soon as possible. But before we do that, we want to remind you, if you like to watch the show, go ahead and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And if you just like to listen, you can do that wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can find us there. Leave us a rating. Let us know what you think. And without further ado, let's get you to the interview.
Welcome back. Our biggest Mound visit yet, June 28th. We have none other than Guy Fieri from Flavortown to the Mound on Mound Visit. Brother, thank you for joining us today. We got an exciting fusion of culinary expertise, sports, and philanthropy. And then these three Italians right here, we're just hanging out, man. Looks like a beautiful day where you're at.
It's not bad. This is Northern California. We're kind of hitting our sweet spot. But you know what? It's we just got back from a big road trip through Wyoming and Montana. Big family road trip, and I'll tell you, that is some beautiful country. So just when you think that you're sitting in the best spot, you got to go check some of this out. It's pretty mind-blowing out there.
Yeah, no, I'd love to join you in Montana. It's one of my go-to places. I haven't been yet, so let me know when you need a wingman up there. But
road trip partner. There you go.
There's our all-star guest, guys. So far, this is only our 22nd show, and it's blowing our minds that you can come to our show. You got a lot going on. I know Lori, Hunter, Ryder, your family members, how are they doing, and what's going on in your world there?
Everybody's good. Like I said, we just got back day before yesterday, so we're just kind of settling in from being gone for 3 weeks, and now we're off to Ryder's trying to catch up on some of his work here at the ranch. He's been gone, so he's got his hours that he's got to put in to pay off all of his endeavors, his truck insurance and so forth. I said, we'll help you with the purchase of the truck, but you're going to have to be able to cover your own gas or your own insurance. So he's out there working. So he's not super thrilled, when you go from half a summer of no work to coming back to doing work. But everybody's good. Hunter's, we're getting ready. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to take off in another week to go do another family excursion. But everybody's good. Everything's cruising.
Well, that's good, man. I love how you keep them humble, man. With all the other success you've had, you keep your family humble. And I love how we met, our connection. People may wonder how the heck we became friends, and obviously Kelly O.
Whoa. Don't go throwing around this friend thing so easily, okay? We're more of acquaintances. I don't know how this is, Jason, this is coming into friend already. I didn't get that. No, we did. We met through a very good friend of ours, Kelly O, who's an amazing woman and entrepreneur with a great story. When I had her on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and all of a sudden she starts wrangling this guy in, and I'm like, I don't know, friends to friends don't invite friends, but you are a good dude, so I understand why you guys are so close.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, man. Yeah, we hung out a little Rage Against the Machine, and had a couple things in common. We like wine, and the Justin Sutherland experience that you invited me to, that was for me to be in your world and be a part of something that was so giving of yourself. You hear all these stories about people, but to have a front row seat that night, for me, that was kind of like my clubhouse experience in my retirement, just to see how much you're loved by your family, your friends. it was really humbling to be there. So I'm very grateful for that clubhouse experience to see in your world how people praise you, and you're humble in that endeavor too. But you have a lot going on, man, and not a shortage of. You've built a flavorful empire, and you obviously embrace the sporting world. You got a lot of good big league friends, major league friends that come in and join the festivities whenever we can, man. So I know you got Triple D is always your go-to there, which Friday nights, if you guys live under a rock, you haven't seen that show, right? Case, you watched
right.
that show?
I grew up watching that show. My mom and I would watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and we would always be
What's
like,
this would watch stuff? What's
No.
would watch, Casey? Jesus, stay tuned
Well,
in. How do you think I'm paying for the electricity in there?
Well, we moved on from Triple D to Triple G. Now it's Guys Grocery Game. So we have to keep, you got to keep it.
Nice
keep
segue.
It fresh.
Nice segue, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, I mean, like I said, you got the new tequila. I heard there's a new variety out there to your scent of tequila.
Yeah, so we have the Añejo tequila that's just getting ready to launch here in a couple of weeks. We're just waiting for it to show up out of Mexico. It's been done for a while, but we were just waiting on the bottles out of China, so or wherever they were being made, some planet other than the planet of me having it in my hand, and so that's finally done. And it's amazing tequila. It's been in the barrel for 2 years, so typically Añejo just needs to be in the barrel for 1 year. But we weren't getting the color and the flavor that we wanted out of our tequila, and we don't. We're an additive-free tequila, so I don't know how much you know about the world of tequilas, but it's very similar to the world of wine. You get what you pay for. You get what you put in the bottle. You get what you invest in, and if you pick. I remember the first time we started making wine, and my winemaker was out there just dropping fruit on the ground, and I'm like, wait a second. You just dropped enough fruit on the ground. That's half the pick. And he said, I want these grapes that we're going to pick to really have all the great flavor and all the great potential that they can have. And the same thing goes with blue agave, the Weber blue agave, which is what the tequila is made from. It can be of the size of the cactus that you want it to be, of the agave, at 5 to 6 years, but it might not be ripe. And it sometimes takes anywhere from 6 to 8 years plus to get this agave, the piña, the center of the plant, to be ripe. And until that happens, you shouldn't pick it. But a lot of people choose to pick it early, and when they pick it early, then they have to then come back and fortify it with sweeteners and things to enhance the flavor because it really doesn't have any flavor. So that all being said, what I was getting to is that our tequila is additive free. We put no color, we put no flavor, we put no additives into our tequila. And only 7% of the tequilas in the world are made with no additives.
Wow.
So if you think about all the tequilas that are out there, any of the big brand names, any of the celebrity brand names, not additive free. And that's the big claim to fame that we have. Not only is it that we get very highly awarded, highly recognized, highly scored tequila, but it's on top of it all, it's additive free. And when you try additive free, Jason, when you try drinking the tequila like that, you will notice the difference right off the bat. Plus, the hangover is a completely different thing. As we know, not that you and I have ever had any hangovers, but the hangover from sugar is way different than from something that's neutral. And that's what ends up happening is no glycerin, no colors, no artificial flavors. No, this does not taste like a big caramel bomb of vanilla like you get in some big tall bottles at clubs. This is the real deal. So yeah, the Añejo is going to be coming out here in the next week or so.
So you definitely are the scientist, and there's a chemistry that you've.
No, don't put any big titles and brands on me. I don't even know how to spell scientist.
Well, I'm just saying, what you're talking
fortunately,
about.
we have really good people on our team, really great distillers down in Mexico. Juan Eduardo, who is a third generation distiller. No, it's a big collaborative team effort to make this tequila happen, and it's me and my buddy Sammy Hagar. So it's been a long journey. We've been doing this for quite a while now, and finally we're coming to the next level. We just came out with a new bottle that's this really new packaging that's just dynamite. So all kinds of stuff going on with it, but it's this Añejo is going to be a big deal.
No, I love that. We should be sipping on it right now, having one of your knuckle
Oh,
sandwiches.
that would be really good. This time of day, you and me on tequila, this whole podcast would go to
It hasn't
another
been done
dimension.
before, though. We could just break some barriers here. I would love to be doing that with you today, but maybe we'll have to wait. I know you got that new restaurant in Vegas. I haven't been there in a minute, and tell us about this Flavortown Sports Kitchen, because I know you got a lot of restaurants, but this one's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, so you remember Bally's? It's right on the corner there of the Strip in Flamingo, and Bally's is an iconic. I mean, it's been there forever. I went to college in Las Vegas. I went to UNLV, and Bally's was, it was the mainstay. Across from that was the Dunes, Barbary Coast, which is now the Cromwell. But Bally's is there longer than anybody. Caesars and Bally's and Flamingo, I think, were the ones that are still standing. Well, they came in, the Caesars, Harrah's, Eldorado, a group out of Reno, an amazing story of that family, the Carano family that owns Eldorado. But they came and basically bought Vegas, and they, the Harrah's, Bally's, Caesars program. Anyhow, they turned Bally's into the Horseshoe, and the Horseshoe is a super iconic name and really recognized in old Vegas, going down to the Horseshoe, and so they've changed it over. Huge development they've done there at Bally's, and one of them was to bring it in and give us another restaurant. What do you like in Vegas? You go down for the music. You go down for it used to be go down for the gaming, but now you go down for the music. You go down for the entertainment. You go down for the food. And you go down for gaming. Well, sports is a major part of Vegas for the entertainment, for the gaming. And they said, why don't we do this? Why don't we take something we don't have a lot of, which is let's take and show great sports, have a great sports environment, and let's put great food with it. And let's put high energy. Let's give somebody that's got some high energy. So they didn't have any other choices. They only had me. But now we collaborated with them. It's a beautiful restaurant. Everybody's down there right now. Matter of fact, Hunter's getting ready to go down and start training with the team. To help them get ready. But it's a beautiful restaurant. It's right there in Bally's or in the Horseshoe on your way over to Paris, and it's going to rock. And some just amazing menu items. This new menu that we wrote for this place, just doing some things we've never done, and I think people are going to be pretty wowed. So we're excited, and it'll get ready. The big kickoff, the big opening is going to be July 7th.
Well,
that's awesome.
Just being that I've been in your office, you got a heck of a memorabilia collection from all these people you've been in the midst of and have met you.
Is that a baseball joke?
No, I'm just saying you got more wall space
in the midst of on the mound. Huh? In the
no, I'm not going to do any puns of words here. No, I'm not a reporter.
It was totally a pun. It was totally in the midst of. I got it. It's funny. It's like 3 big drops you've had. So
I think you're giving him more credit than I don't know.
Yeah, you're giving me a lot more credit. I'm not
start writing them down so at least he can use them in the future.
No, but I figure you got some more wall space here at this restaurant. I'm sure you're going to have some sick stuff for people to look at and create the great environment of it, too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the TVs and just the way they did it. This Caesars team, this Eldorado team, they're just so progressive. I really love. What I really love about it is they really give the respect to the food. They really give. I don't like that. You see that behind me?
Yeah.
What was going on there?
That was about 15 vultures.
That looked like a Land Before Time scene or something.
Watch your dog, man. They're
not that kind of vulture. They don't come in and do that. But that means, they're flocking. So, and we have a lot of goats. So
looking for your leftovers. I'd be vulturing too. If you got any leftovers,
that's not good back there. That's definitely. I got to call my ranch manager and have him come check this out.
Oh no,
something is up, buddy.
Something's up.
Something's up.
The kill back there.
I could see him. I was looking at the screen, and I could see them coming over my head.
It looked it looked prehistoric when they were coming over your head.
Well, they are prehistoric. They're flocking.
Today's episode is brought to you by Top 100 Sports, the leading multi-sport development system in the world, which is revolutionizing the youth sports industry. And this summer, they have an incredible event, the Top 100 Experience. It's located at historic NBT Bank Stadium in Syracuse, New York, the home of the AAA New York Mets affiliate. The annual Top 100 Sports Experience is a 3-day-long event designed to help young athletes understand what it takes to play at a higher level. Players get to learn from former major league players and showcase their skills in front of 300 plus invited college coaches. It's one of the best events in the country for young players looking to play baseball at the next level. So thank you to Top 100 Sports for sponsoring this episode, and let's get you back to the interview. My God, I got to ask, Guy, because this is talking about, the uniqueness of the environment in that restaurant, and I think it plays a lot to the uniqueness of you and your character and everything that you've built on, not only on the Food Network, but just in, with everything that we've talked about. And I want to know, because I think being a professional at the top of your craft, whether it's an athlete like Grilli or whether it's a chef like yourself, I think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know in terms of the, that hard work and that preparation. But to get to the level of chef, not even celebrity chef, but just the level of chef that you have to get to where people know your name all around the world, what does that look like? Because I think the average person kind of, might look at that and think, what does it really take to become a chef at that level? What is that preparation like?
There's so many different methods or scenarios of how people get to that situation. And there's so many different facets to the chefs. I mean, I know chefs that are better chefs than I could even explain, and no one's ever heard of them. I know chefs that are okay and have their own credit, and deservingly so, and everybody's heard of them. So it's not. So there's two different worlds. There's being an entertaining person that's also a chef, and there's being a chef that cooks and has never been on TV or doesn't want to be on TV.
Sure.
So it's just two totally different worlds. It's have you guys seen this baseball team on TikTok?
Savannah Bananas? Yeah.
Oh, Savannah Bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Funniest thing. By the way, Jason, you would be hysterical on that.
That's what I think.
I think those guys are genius, and I want to go see them. I want to go
yeah,
see them.
But speaking of that, the reason I don't is it's kind of, I'm going to bag on you a little bit, because I know the way you got hurt after that first AB in the Heroes for Game, the Game for Heroes that we had.
Not hurt anymore, buddy.
I know.
All good now.
That's good. But that's why I don't want to play for the Bananas, because a couple of my buddies did, and same thing. They went all out thinking they could still be who they were, and they got hurt. So,
well, they just got to stretch it out a little bit better, buddy. Anyhow, but the point is, you look at that. That's super entertaining, and that is a pretty good, high level of baseball.
Yeah, it is.
But very different than MLB.
Correct.
So there's a somewhat of a parallel, if I can say that. But I'll tell you what it is, and it's just like anything in this world. And this is, unfortunately, Casey, I don't think the younger generation is seeing it. Nothing beats hard work. Nothing we do, no efforts we make, no aspirations we have are ever going to trump hard work. And I think that's the biggest thing that people are missing, is that, these kids are seeing people make millions off of the TikTok and YouTube and all this kind of stuff. And they're thinking, well, I'll just become a internet sensation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious? It's going to change. It's going to pivot. And people are going to be left standing there going, well, I should have gone to college. I should have focused. I should have done this. I should have done that. So all I can say is, you got to love what you do. You got to be willing to make the commitment. You got to be willing to dig deep. You got to be willing to take your bumps and your bruises and your wins and your losses, and ask for help and be humble enough to take help. All those kinds of things are what really gets you to that point. And I don't think it has to do necessarily just with being a chef,
sure,
or being a professional baseball player. I think it has to do with anything you want to be great at or anything you want to be successful in. You've got to employ all of those pieces, because I've seen enough really great athletes that have won the Heisman Trophy or won the Cy Young, and that's the last you see of them because they didn't have all the other components to stick with it, or
Sure.
they didn't have the training or they didn't have the fortitude, or they didn't have the background, or they didn't have the support measures. So, yeah, I wish I could give you a very simple answer, but I think it falls into that same curriculum of life that everybody needs to participate. Anybody that's winning has participated.
No, I think you hit it on the nose, man. The parallels between culinary innovation and competitive spirit found in sports. I think, you hit it, like hard work and continuing to work hard. You got to have that mindset and that drive, and you can't teach that. You can't teach that at all.
No. I think the interesting thing is when you look at that whole world, and you see it in movies, like chefs staying late and just like, cooking into the night or coming in before early in the morning, stuff like that. I mean, it's the same with anything. You look at baseball, it's, you come in early, you do your work before the game, you do work after the game. But I mean, it's another fascinating conversation that I think we could probably even talk just 30 minutes on our own about that topic in particular. But I wanted to ask you because Grilli and I were talking about this a little before we got on here, but you wouldn't know it from my last name, but my family's Sicilian. Grilli's Italian. You're Italian, obviously. One of my favorite stories that I've heard about you is about your last name, actually, and how it was kind of a nod to your grandfather when you got married, changing your last name to Fieri. Can you talk a little bit about that story and what that what that decision was like and what that means to you?
It wasn't a decision. It wasn't anything. It was when they came from Ellis Island, they changed their last name. So how do you say Fieri, F-I-E-R? You say Fieri. Mm-hmm. So they changed it and put an R and a Y on it. Makes it a lot easier to say.
Right.
And my sister and I my sister unfortunately passed away 12 years ago from cancer, but it was a thing that we had always talked about. My dad always said, I said, why didn't you change it back? He goes, I'm too old to do that. He goes, I don't give a shit. But I'm very proud of the Italian heritage. As a matter of fact, I took my dad back, took my parents back, 10 years now, took them back to Italy,
nice.
Hired an attorney. The records of Italy are not as available to go find who's who and what's what. You have to actually subpoena for the record. I don't know. It's crazy. But we got an attorney back there in Italy and helped us, and we found our cousins. And we went back and found the cousins in the Milan area, an area called Sesto Caliente, Lago Maggiore, all that in the northern Italy area. And so we go there and meet the cousins, and we have all the pictures and the explanations and everything. And so the cousins kind of listen to us, and they're not quite sure what's going on here, but we had enough truth to it that they bought into it. And it was two sisters that were essentially the first cousins. They'd be the first cousins of my dad. And they were born in Italy, went to the United States, came back to Italy when they were, younger. Anyhow, the point being, they didn't know about my dad. My dad didn't know about them. My dad's uncle had since passed. That was their dad. So anyhow, blah, 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 blah. So we spend a couple hours with one of the sisters, and then we go and spend a couple hours with the other sister. And all things are said and done. And, we're kind of like, well, it was a nice visit. And maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe it's not that exciting. So a couple of days go by, and the concierge of the hotel calls me and says, Signor Fieri, your cousins are here to see you. I said, my cousins? I said, all right. So I come down in the elevator, and there's the three cousins that are, a little bit younger, about my age. And they're standing there at the base of the elevator in the lobby. And the one cousin holds up a big printed piece of, it's a big print out of the, the computer, but a big one. And it's a picture of me from an article. And he goes, famoso. Guido Fieri is famoso.
Famoso.
So, because I didn't say anything about, where I was, who I was, or what, we were just doing family stuff. And that was a pretty funny turning point. And, but it's great because I'm still in great contact. And matter of fact, a few years after that, I took Hunter through Europe for graduation from high school, and took him back to where our family was from, and saw all the cousins and put them in part of the show of this road trip of Hunter and Guy. So Yeah, it's pretty funny.
There you go, Case. Now you got to figure out how to change that name to make it more Italian.
Sure.
Right? Had an I at the end.
Yeah, or a Y.
Or a
Yeah.
Y.
Yeah, that's right.
Honigbaum.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh man, it's good stuff.
So who if the big news that we've talked about too with the Oakland A's leaving town and going to a place that you grace a lot of in Vegas, that might be a good fit, right, for some sports fans.
Well, I got to say first and foremost, I like history. I mean, I like the way things are, and I was never around for the Brooklyn Dodgers, or the what was it, the where did the Lakers come from? Minneapolis, or the Great Lakes, isn't that where Lakers came from?
Oh, I think.
I mean, I just think about the Supersonics, leaving
right.
Seattle and then go to Oklahoma and
freaking out.
become. So for me, I just hate to see Oakland. It's Ricky Henderson and the Oakland A's.
Yep.
And I just think of it and think of how many games I've been to. I was there. I threw out the pitch there. I just hate to see them leave Oakland because Oakland is a very special place to us. And here in Northern California, it's the Oakland Raiders. Will always be the Oakland Raiders.
Amazing fans too. Amazing.
I gotta say that if you can't support what the team needs and the facility's not the right place, you gotta make a decision. It is a fan-based sport. It is that's kind of redundant, but it is fan-based. But there is a business factor to it. And if you can't support it and you have the chance to lose it. So I'm sorry they're leaving. I really am. But Vegas is awesome. And I went to college in Vegas, went to UNLV.
Right.
Would never have been happy with, wasn't happy when Oakland left and went to LA. Was thrilled when they came back to Oakland. But the fact of the matter is Vegas, I think, is a really good home plate.
There you go. The
good
dead
home plate.
There you go.
It was a double entendre, home
I
plate
love it.
and
Look at
baseball and food.
There you go. You're picking it up now.
But I think it was great. I think it'll be good, and I think that they'll have a great fanship. There's the fans in Vegas want sports.
Yeah.
Look at the Golden Knights just winning the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good money there. Here's the thing that I know, and this is something when I go do Triple D or when I go to sporting events or whatever, having the facilities to support the fan base is so important. Having the ability to get from the casinos over to the games, and who doesn't love to go to Vegas?
Right.
You go to Vegas, you got a couple days, you're hanging out, and then you get to go see one of your favorite teams play. So I think it's a win-win, but unfortunately a bit of a loss for Oakland.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think real quick before we have to wrap it up, I think a question to end off, tie all this sports and food together. This is probably a question you've been asked a million times, and I know you're a football guy too, basketball as well. And it could be any one of those stadiums if you want to pick a baseball stadium too, because we're Mound Visit here. But what's the best stadium food that you've ever had? Because I think some people might think, it's just stadium food. How good can it really be? Has there ever been food that you've had at a stadium where you're like, wow, that was pretty good?
Not to be too opinionated on it. I'll say it this way.
Okay.
I believe the newer the stadium, the better the food.
There you go.
Okay?
Okay.
Here's the thing that has always irked me about stadiums. You go buy popcorn at a sporting event. Popcorn is one of the most iconic American things in the world. I remember when I lived in France, I was an exchange student, and I went and got popcorn at the American store in Paris, brought it home to the family I lived with and made them popcorn, and they looked at me like I had two heads. Like, what is this? Same thing with Doritos. But I'll tell you what it is. People have now put a higher priority on quality food. You don't go to a game and choke down a hot dog with a stale bun. People are really going there with the anticipation of eating great food. You're going to drop $150 on a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
You just paid $50 for parking. You got this. You better be delivering some great food. So the days of the tailgate being the only place to get the good food, and you come in and all you're going to do is drink expensive beer, I think are over. So, like Vegas, for instance, we have a restaurant in Vegas, and a Guy Fieri, Flavortown kitchen there, and we have full blown kitchens. I mean, we build it out, and you can find everything in stadiums now, from sushi to prime rib. I mean, these restaurants that they're putting inside of them, and then the clubs.
Right.
You're getting some outrageous food. So I think the newer the stadium, the more equipped and the more mindset they have to serving great food. If we take it into what's your thought as a kid back in the day, I got to say garlic fries at Pac Bell Park or AT&T Park or whatever park it's. I don't know what it's called these days. Watching the Giants, you could be anywhere from the right-hand side of the plate over to first base, and you could smell garlic fries. So that was always one of my favorites. But every place has got their iconic, the Dodger dog, so forth. But I think that the newer the stadium, the better food you're going to get, and I think that they're starting to focus. Same thing with concerts. Same thing with music venues now. People are really starting to key in on and local, and they're bringing in local restaurants. I'm surprised Kelly O doesn't have one over there in Pittsburgh. Do they still call it Three River Stadium?
Yes, no, it's called Acashore or something. Acashore Stadium. They changed.
How could they not call it Three Rivers? That was the best thing.
idea.
You know what? Hey, Grilli, I don't know if I ever told you this.
PNC Park
My
for the
uncle-
Pirates.
My dad grew up in Powhatan Point, Ohio, which is right on the West Virginia River, across from Wheeling, West Virginia. And my uncle, his first cousin Tom, lived in Pittsburgh. So we would go and visit Tom Ramsey. My middle name's Ramsey, so Tom's last name. We would go and visit him there, and he took me to Three River Stadium, and I got to see Willie Stargell play.
Oh, legend.
And it was probably one of the greatest things in my life. And I bought that Pittsburgh hat.
Yeah.
The iconic hat. I don't know what the name, the brand, or the style that hat was called. But I wore that back to California, and you would have thought it was like serving popcorn to the French. I had two heads on. Where did you get that hat?
Did it have the stars and the pinstripes on it?
Oh, the stars,
Yeah.
the one that was squared off.
Yeah,
the
squared
top.
off. It looked like a culinary hat, right?
I'll tell you what. And when I came back, and so my team that I played on in Little League were the Yankees. And so when I came back and I had that hat, everybody on the Pirates in our Little League team wanted to buy that hat from me. If I would have bought 10 of them, I could have made some coin.
Well, I still got mine, man. From the still got a little
good looking
sweat.
hat, buddy.
Yeah, we need to get the new one. So I hope that we get to do that again. That was an amazing event. You guys, again, we want to wrap it up, and we're sensitive to your time, Guy. You're remarkable, with what you're doing, shedding some light and connection between what you do with the food, sports, your philanthropic stuff. I wish you nothing but great time, success. I can't wait to join you. And be careful of those vultures behind you. I don't know what they're ready to scarf up. I hope it's not you, man. So
I don't know what they're going after. Well, listen, it's great that you give people a chance to have some insight to you and your background and all the people that you have connections to. And there's across. It's like the 6 degrees of separation. There's always some cross correlation between who we are, what we do, what we've done, and where we're going. And I appreciate you having me on, and you are the real deal, my friend.
Hey.
So continued success with this. And Casey, good luck putting that Y on the end of the name.
Thank you so much. Really nice to meet you. We appreciate your time.
thank you, guys.